Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about the absolute need to cap your rifle lights if you keep a light on your rifle. Okay, now the first reason that people will typically bring up is that if you have a negligent light discharge, it's going to give away your position, right? And that's true. But there's actually an even better reason, a more practical reason. When you go to pull this out of your safe or wherever you have it, there's a really good chance that as you're pulling this gun out, this is either you're going to hit this butterfly switch here with your hand, or it's going to hit the safe or one of the other guns, and because of the way you're holding the rifle, it's going to shine right up into your face. And it's gonna, like, you're gonna start seeing stars. Especially, like, the darker it is, the more it's going to inhibit your vision. You're gonna see spots. You're gonna lose your night vision, and it's a pain in the ass, man. It's going to render you a lot less combat effective. Okay, so this is a cap that I took off of a scope that I didn't think really needed it. I thought the light needed a lot more because I do lots of night shooting, right? And the reality is, like, every time I go to pull the gun out of the safe, or if I'm just moving around the tables, you know, me moving around, it hits stuff, and I end up basically flashing myself in the eyes. Now, you might think, well, that's really a pistol light, right? And part of the reason why I like using pistol lights is because they're easy on, easy off, without wires. You might say, hey, that's a pistol light that has the butterfly switch. What about a rifle light? Okay, so put that down for a second. So rifle light, right, with the pressure pad. How are you going to grab this when you pull this out of your safe? Your hand is going to go right there, right? And if you don't have that light covered, okay, as soon as you grab this, you're going to basically shine yourself right in the eyes, and you're going to start seeing spots, okay? This is like, you know, it happens at least 80% of the time. Like, if it doesn't happen immediately as I'm pulling the gun out, it's going to happen, you know, at some other point, loading magazines, you know, just manipulating the gun, etc. Okay, you're gonna basically flash yourself in the eyes, and at night that is blinding. You're gonna lose your night vision. It's really inhibiting. Now, this is a setup here that I have. This is on a 11.5 inch. So on the 11.5 inch, yeah, there's really very little space here. So, you know, basically I have to grab the rifle either all the way down here or all the way up here to avoid hitting that pressure pad. Now, there is another solution that I have, and that's on a rifle like this, right? I use a rifle light, but one that doesn't, like, because these are both the same light, right? These are both Streamlights. Instead of plugging in the pressure pad, I just use the push button thing over here, where I push the button on and off. With this type of a setup, because that is underneath, you know, they don't interfere, right? Because what's happening is you can't have your sling attachment and your light on the same plane. So with this type of a rifle here, right, where you have this A2 post, I can have my light way high up so that it doesn't interfere with the sling mount. Now, if you try to, because I've tried it on, like, railed uppers, I've tried putting the light here and then the sling mount here on the side. The two end up being too close together. Okay, so that doesn't work. I've tried on these type of rails, instead of having the sling attachment here, having it further back. And it might work for some people. I mean, it does work. The problem for me is I do a lot of walking through the woods, so I need the rifle controlled at the two furthest points. So when I throw this over my back, okay, the rifle is controlled, right? And the sling tightens down. I've covered this in other videos. It's really important which way your sling tightens. You don't want it tightening up. You want it tightening down, so I can pull this all the way down to here if I need to, really tight, so I can be walking through the woods, running, whatever, and that muzzle's not moving all over the place. And then from there, I could just do a quick recovery, right, and get on target. Okay, so that's really important and practical. So this my sling, for the way I, the way I train, needs to be near the end. It can't be down here. That would kind of solve the light problem, because then I would be able to put the light on the side here and activate it with my thumb. But then the muzzle's just flopping all over the place, and that's just not gonna work for me. Okay, so this setup here kind of works. Okay, with the pistol light, with the light on top in the front. Okay, I can flip it off. I can activate this, with my thumb. Okay, so that kind of works. I give priority to things that I'm going to be using the most. So the red dot, always using that. Magnifier in the back, always using that, right? Because I shoot at distance, at small targets, got to have that. Bubble level, got to have that, because they can't really, if you're canted a little bit this way, even at 100 yards, I can move your bullet 2 inches left or right. So the bubble level is important. That's got to be on there. For night shooting, the light is important. Or even if you're going to be indoors. If I'm shooting at distance, I got to have the bipod. So this is like a full SHTF type of setup here, right? I've got the iron sights. Iron sights got to go where they are, right? Here and here, right? They still work pretty good out to 100 yards. If for whatever reason, like in an emergency situation, this will work. If my optics were permanently out of commission, I would remove these. You keep an Allen key over here and just slide the rear one back, and if you're not using the light anymore, you slide the front one up. Okay, so the iron sights are movable. They are functional in this position, right? I can see them, right through the optic if I need to. Okay, but they're out of my way for what I'm realistically and practically doing most of the time. Now, usually what's going to happen is I'm not going to have, let's say, the light and the magnifier on at the same time, because if it's daytime and I'm shooting at distance, well, I definitely don't need the light. Or if it's nighttime, if it's nighttime, I don't need the magnifier in the back. I don't need the bipod here, so I'll take that off. So the things that like the daytime and nighttime setup on this can be different. But the thing I wanted to bring out in this video is that your light has to be capped, because you're going to flash yourself right in the eyes. I mean, I've been doing this for 15 years. There's almost like no way you cannot flash yourself in the eyes if your light is not capped, and if you have an easy access switch. Okay. Now, the problem with this type of a cap here is that when it's closed, right, and I've done this a few times, if I accidentally hit this in the on position, I can't see that at all. Okay. So I don't know if I flip this on, I can't see that's on like it is right now. And a few times what I've done is I've just ran out my battery, because this was accidentally hit on, and because it was capped, I couldn't see it. So I've come up with another solution, which looks very grungy but works. Okay. So what I did here is I made a light using blue tape, or rather a light cover using blue tape, which I can actually see, right? Right, you see how it shines? So if I activate that by accident, I can see that, okay? And obviously if it's a bright day, you're not gonna see it, but at night, I can definitely see it. And it actually serves a dual purpose, because suppose I drop something, or, there's something at my feet, right? And, like some rocks or something. With this blue tape cover that I have here, at night when it's pitch black, I can actually shine this down at my feet. The light is it literally just shines right at your feet. It's very low. It's enough for you to pick up, let's say, a magazine or something that you might have dropped, or if you're stepping over rocks or something. It's enough so that you can see your feet, but you can't see any further than that. So this blue tape solution is actually very practical, and I made that myself. What I used was the electric tape, the cardboard that's on the inside. Basically, after I used it up, I kept one. Now, once you get it, usually once you remove the tape, it usually like loses a little bit of its cohesion, but that's fine because it loosening up a little bit is going to allow you to measure it perfectly to the to your light, whatever the size is. Okay. And then what I did is, again, using the blue tape here, you know, I set it up so that I can retain it, all right, and get it back on. Okay. And what I did is, so I used the inner cardboard from the electric tape, blue painter's tape, right, to basically go around it and then go over it and then over here, so I have a place to attach it. And I also, that's how I made, like I just folded a couple times, and I made the you know, this lanyard here to hold it into place. And then what I finally did is I took some clear plastic tape and I covered it so that it is basically waterproof. Okay, so it doesn't just collapse if it gets wet. Now this is not something that's gonna last 100 years. You know, this is something that, yeah, especially in rough weather, you know, you may get, you know, a couple of uses out of it. But it's temporary, but it works really good. Okay, it keeps the light covered. If I accidentally flip the light on at night, especially I can see that it's on, so I don't waste my battery. You know, it's easy off, easy back on. Okay, I can shine my feet so I can see what I'm stepping on. All right, if I drop something, I can pick it up without having to go to another light, right? Because my pocket light, right, this thing over here, even though this is smaller, right, and tiny, this is going to be a lot brighter, right? Because, you know, because this is covered, so that, you know, this actually gives off, even though it's 1,000 lumens, it gives off less light. Okay, so that's a very practical solution. The other thing I've done, I mentioned this in a few videos. Sometimes I will use a micro light, right? So those lights over there are 1,000 lumens. This one here is about 500. It really gives off a lot of light. This is good primarily for an indoor type of situation, right? If you expect that you're primarily going to be indoors in the building, this will give you enough light indoors. Or if you're just like, maybe if you're in a suburban area and you're just going to be working around your house, you know, right immediately outside the house, this is a good solution. Basically, I can see at night I can see 30 yards with this, which is where those targets are right over there. That's about as far as I can see and really identify. You know, I mean, it'll shine a little bit further than that, but if somebody wants to be hidden, you're not going to see them with this. With these lights here, they basically double the distance, right? Even though they're 1,000 lumens, and on the boxes they'll tell you that these 1,000 lumen lights, you know, they'll go out to 300 yards. Realistically, in the woods with the trees and stuff out there, you're gonna get out 75, 100 yards max. You know, if somebody wants to be hidden, yeah, they pretty much got to be like at 50 to 60 yards, 60 yards if somebody's trying to hide, in order for you to see them with this light. Now, again, as you see me holding this rifle here, where's my hand going? Right in the area of the pressure pad. Okay, so again, if you don't have your light covered, you are going to shine yourself in the face. Like, that's 100% guaranteed. I don't care how careful you are. You might be careful for the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but you can't be like continuously careful not to press that pressure pad or hit that butterfly switch. If you don't want to cover the light, this is probably the best option for you, right? This option over here. Now, the problem with this option here is this button here is pretty well covered, so it's very unlikely that you're going to accidentally activate this light. But I have had issues where sometimes I'm kind of fishing for the night, like at dark, for whatever reason. I might be in an awkward position, right? I'm here and I'm just not. I don't hit that button first time out. You know, I have to, you know, start looking for it a little bit. So I have had that issue. So the A2 post works pretty good. I've mounted the bipod off of the bayonet lug. Not great, right? Because, you know, sometimes that bayonet lug, here, it's loosened up on me. This is like a temporary setup here. That bayonet lug can loosen up on you, so that's not a great solution, but it is something, you know, it is doable, right? This is something that can be made to work. At least you have an option with that. So with the bayonet lug, I I got the bipod here. I've got the light on A2 post. I've got the sling attached here, so that's working great. Red dot magnifier, that's great. The only thing I can't put on this is the rear backup sight, right? Because there's no place to put a rear backup sight over here. This optic is too big. It's not like I can slide this over and I'll have space back here. The magnifier really takes priority, right? Because realistically, I mean, I'm usually shooting 200 yards, at a small target. I need the magnifier. Can't see it. Like even like a 12-inch target, can't see it, without the magnifier. Can't have a good aiming holding point. Got to have the magnifier. Now this is an 8 or 9-inch guard. I have 2 other rifles like this that have the shorter 6-inch. On those, I put the quad rail on. Okay, so with the quad rail, now you got a place to put your, rear flip up sight. So the rear quad rail is a good solution that works. On the 6-inch, when I do have a quad rail for this, but this gun becomes like stupid heavy, right? When I put the quad rail on this 9-inch guard over here, like right now this is manageable with the light, with the bipod over here. This is manageable. Okay, if I put a quad rail on this, it just becomes unmanageable, not practical. So if this is the setup that you want, right? And again, the benefit is that this option of these other 2 really, I think, gives you an excellent light option, right? Because I can keep the light on here, and keep a 1000 lumen light on here without a pressure pad. It's on my left side, doesn't interfere with my sling. So this is really an excellent option. So I mean, I know quad rail. I mean, I know that railed ARs are all the rage, but there is a certain benefit to this. So unless you're putting like lasers and stuff on top of that, right? Like D-balls and that kind of crap. I mean, you really can. This can get you a lot of mileage. If you get this with the shorter 6-inch guard, put a quad rail on that, and then you can have the light here. You can have your bipod. This isn't great. I mean, and I don't mean the bipod itself. I'm talking about the bayonet lug Picatinny attachment. I mean, even with Loctite, because remember, this is something that's high stress. Like when you put this down, right, and you get into the ground and you load up on this, that's a stress point over there. So I have had this bayonet lug Picatinny attachment come loose on me a couple of times. Okay, so that's just be aware of that. I mean, this fixes some problems, but I mean, nothing is without problems. All right, everything is pros and cons. Every setup, no matter what you do, is going to have some issues. Okay, so yeah. So anyway, I wanted to say, if you got a light on your gun, you got to have a cover for it. Now, we said on this setup over here, right, it's kind of hard for me to accidentally discharge the light, but a lot of times people are talking about, you got to have your scope covered because the light can reflect off the light and give away your position. What do you think this is going to do, man? Look at that. That's a mirror. Okay, this is going to even in daytime, right? Even without you accidentally putting this on in the daytime, bright as on a bright sunny day, there's a really good chance that you're going to have sun reflecting off of that, more off of that than off of this glass or that glass over there. So that's another reason why you want to have your lights covered, because that is a mirror that is going to reflect light. I mean, so a couple of things for you guys to think about. I don't think that night shooting and using lights gets enough attention, right? There's there's videos out there that cover night shooting, but compared to other videos, there's very few of them. A couple of reasons for that. It's not because if you're shooting at dark in the night, it's hard for the camera to capture. Okay, so it doesn't make for very glamorous videos. So that's why one of the reasons why people don't talk about night shooting a whole lot. The other thing is, most of these other people that do videos, some of them, excellent videos, but they just don't have access to a location where they can shoot at night and practice and train and run into all the problems that that I run into because I do it. So that's another reason why you don't see too many videos that cover night shooting and using rifle lights and stuff like that. So a few things for you guys to think about. But yeah, if you're gonna have a light on your gun, I think you gotta have it covered, primarily so you don't flash yourself when you pull this out of the safe. You're like, oh man, you know. And making one yourself might actually be a better solution than getting a factory made one, because with this one, if I accidentally flip this on, I'm not going to be able to see it. And the other thing is with this, aside from the fact that I can't see through it, if this is accidentally turned on, I'm running down my battery. If this hits anything, this opens up really easy. Okay, with this one over here, right, with this cheapo bullshit ghetto, you know, poor man's cap. I mean, this doesn't flip off. I mean, I can get this on. If I need to make this tighter, I can just put more tape on there. I can, you know, make this even tighter. This is a very, you know, realistic, practical solution. Okay, so let me know what you guys think. Drop some comments. The comments really help bring attention to the videos because it pushes the algorithm. I don't monetize this channel, so I don't make any money off of these videos that I do for you guys. I purely do these videos to benefit the gun community and to try and bring more people into the gun hobby. Okay, so drop some comments. I'll talk to you all soon. Hello everyone. I want to show you guys this rifle light lens cap that I made. Basically, it's blue light. Okay, so one of the issues I have found with these rifle lights, a lot of times as I'm handling the rifles at night, I get these accidental discharge, right? So what happens is, aside from it giving away your position, what it does is, if you get this bright light, right? You get this bright light that does that, it gives away your position. But if it's pointed towards your face, you're gonna basically blind yourself, and you're gonna be seeing stars. So the other great thing about this light is, if I drop something in the dark, or if there's like rocks or something that on the ground, I can use this to see. Okay, and then if I'm going to shoot, I can quickly remove the light. And then when I'm done shooting, basically I can cap it again. Right, so I don't have to worry about negligent light discharge. Right, and again, I have a very effective tool now for, I can see what's going on by my feet. Right, if I want to look at something or read something, I can use that light. Right, see how well that's working? And then quickly comes off. I can shoot. Especially like, let's say I drop a magazine, right? I want to do a magazine change now. Drop the magazine, put the next one in. Okay, but now, you know, nobody's shooting at me. I want to recover that magazine, right? Cover up my light. And there it is, I can see it. I'm able to recover my light, my magazine.